And the last kind of balance we're going to be talking about today is radial balance, going from the middle outward. Take a minute to pause this video so you can write this vocabulary word down in your sketchbook. Radial symmetry occurs when all the elements radiate out from a central point and the visual weight is distributed equally. Radial balance creates a strong focal point in the center of the design. Clock faces and daisies are examples of radial balance. There are two different kinds of symmetry illustrated here. We have radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. If we look over at the radial symmetry on the left-hand side, you can see the sea anemone, and you can see all those tentacles coming out and the structure of the organism there. And if you were to divide it really any way from the top, divide it, you would end up getting the same thing. It has radial symmetry. It all comes out from a central axis. If you look over at, I don't know if it's a crawdad or a lobster or whatever that is, you're looking at that and you can see the bilateral symmetry. If you were to try to divide that the same way as we did the sea anemone, it wouldn't work out so well. It would not be symmetrical. If we were to divide this one down the center though, then yes, you'd have the same on the left and the right-hand side. So that's the difference between radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is what we've been talking about with the symmetrical and the asymmetrical art so far. Radial symmetry can be seen in this photograph. You can see the stairwell circling down, and even if we were to take and split this down the axis, right down the center, and it wouldn't be the same on both sides exactly, we still consider this radial symmetry because it all radiates out from a central point. Now this one, if you were to divide it straight down the center on that axis line, yes, it would be perfectly symmetrical on both sides. Still radial symmetry. This is the rose window, and I'm using it as an example of radial symmetry because it radiates out from a central point. This is actually this is fun. I've actually seen the rose window, and it is beautiful. It is on the Notre Dame Cathedral, and it's right there on the side. Now, a lot of times people look at Notre Dame, and if you look at the picture in the upper left-hand corner, you see that circle window up on top there. That is not the rose window. If you look down in the lower left-hand corner and you see the side of the building, and then you see that larger circle, that is the rose window. The upper right-hand corner, that is the rose window if you're standing inside the building and the light is coming through the stained glass window. And in the lower right-hand corner, that is the rose window from the outside, which in that case doesn't have all the light coming through it, and it doesn't look half as cool, but a beautiful, beautiful window with radial symmetry. Fun little thing, in the Hunchback of Notre Dame, they're inside the cathedral there, and you can actually see it. You see the rose window. Okay, is this radial symmetry? Why or why not? If you're looking at this painting here, you can see these circles. Now, when we think circles, we think, yeah, that's a radiating image right there. You can see the rings radiating outward. However, if you took this painting as a whole and were to divide it down the center on that axis line, nope, it doesn't work. It still has balance, and each ring individually is radiating from outward from the center, but this painting itself does not have radial symmetry. Okay, I have a question for you. Can there be such a thing as asymmetrical radial balance? Absolutely. If you were to divide this image straight down the center, technically it would not be symmetrical. It's asymmetrical because things don't line up. However, remember, think back to the Taj Mahal photograph. Yeah, we still consider it symmetrical. But how about this one with the cats? If you were to divide this directly down the center, you'd end up with a pretty different image on the left than you would on the right. This is not symmetrical. It is asymmetrical, and it is asymmetrical radial balance. looking at this image, we would consider it radial balance. And then if you want to go a step further, you could think, well, is it symmetrical? Is it asymmetrical? It's asymmetrical. Asymmetrical radial balance. Another image that has radial balance, and if we were to get super duper technical, we could go on and say, is it symmetrical? Is it asymmetrical? I don't know. It's really fun. The artist gets to kind of play with it. It's radial balance, and then you can go a little bit further and think about the symmetrical and asymmetrical. Beautiful radial balance here. The petals radiating outward from a central point. And there's some art projects dealing with symmetrical balance. You can see here that each of the images has kind of like a square up in the corner there, and then they've duplicated it so that it's the same on the left as it is on the right. And another art project dealing with radial balance. So this is like the spoons, and you can actually put a mirror in the center. I found this one that has the clock in the middle, and I thought that was really cool, so I threw that on there. Art project dealing with asymmetrical balance. So this is no tan cut paper collage, and we will actually work with this as one of your projects. Super fun, this kind of yin and yang, this black versus white and balance, definitely creating balance, and this time it is asymmetrical. And you can do no tan cut paper collages that are symmetrical, but in this case we'll make ones that are asymmetrical. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Good luck, have fun, and enjoy learning about balance.